What if I told you the secret to true leadership isn't about just achieving results? It's about making genuine connections through empathy. We're living in a world where leaders are being criticized for being completely out of touch. And if you're in a leadership role right now and you're being criticized for being out of touch, empathy is going to separate you to being an impactful leader instead of being an indifferent leader. Let's explore today how the skill of empathy is your new superpower tool for your leadership toolkit. I'm Miles Threat. Thank you for joining this episode of Legacy Leaders Lounge. Before we get started, do me a favor, hit that like button and subscribe to my channel to get more leadership insights to help you build that lasting legacy. Today, more than ever, if you are a leader out there, you're having a greater requirement to connect and be authentic with those that you lead. It has become crucial that you make that part of your skill set, and it can be learned. It doesn't matter if you're that millennial leader out there and you want to climb that corporate ladder and build your career around a job you're passionate about. Or maybe you've got an entrepreneurial dream. You're ready to leave that 9-to-5 and kickstart your journey to independence and freedom with your own business. Or you could be that leader right now. You got a big dream to make a great impact in society with your nonprofit, and you're ready to launch that dream and bring about change in society in the area that you are passionate about. If that's you, we're going to uncover today why empathy isn't just a soft skill. It's actually a superpower. A superpower that's going to help you build that lasting legacy. As we dive into today's topic of building genuine connection through the power of empathy, there are 3 strategies I'm going to cover with you: authentic communication, emotional intelligence, and we're going to look at some non-traditional empathetic techniques. So why is empathy so important? According to a study by Catalyst, leaders who show empathy are seen as better at driving innovation by 61% and boosting employee engagement by 76%. Leaders who practice empathy create more engaged and innovative teams. If you're a business leader out there in the corporate world right now, wouldn't you like to see more engagement on your teams? Are your engagement scores, do they suck right now? Would you like to see an improvement? Would you like to see more innovation? Well, then give empathy a try. You see that empathy? It creates trust. Trust is the foundation. It's the foundation to any relationship, business or interpersonal. And if you want to have a strong foundation of trust, you got to be empathetic. You got to put yourself in their shoes. But that empathy and that trust that you're building, it's not just about the bottom line results. Because there are people getting those bottom line results for you. And it's all about making them feel seen and heard. I know, maybe you're one of those leaders that love to get noticed. You love to be out there in front. You love to be seen. And I get it. You want to have control. I understand. You got to have some control. But if you're not making your people feel seen and heard, then you're not building that trust. You're not showing that empathy. If you're that young millennial leader out there right now and you want to get to that corner office, you want to have that director, VP, CEO, CFO on your placard by your name. That's what you desire. The relationships you're going to build are either going to accelerate that or block you from growth. The more you want to get there right now and you can't be empathetic, the longer it's going to take, if it ever happens for you. You see, empathy is going to help you create those lasting, meaningful connections with people because they're going to feel seen and heard by you. If you're watching right now, do me a favor, hit that bell icon if you're serious about building a lasting legacy. So we looked at the importance of empathy in building trust and making people feel seen and heard. We can also build empathy through authentic communication. You see, authenticity starts out as showing up as your real self. If you're a leader out there today and you've got a growing workforce and you're seeing more millennials and post-millennials come into your workforce, are you trying to start a business and you want to hire people and you want to grow a business? You got that big entrepreneurial dream and you want to hire millennials and post-millennials into your business? Well, then you better get real and show up as your authentic self. See, they're going to see through the bullshit and they're going to look for that genuine connection. And if you want to show up as your real self, first thing you need to practice and get good at is listening to your people. You have to be present in the moment. This device right here, you get all your messages on, you can do email from, you get your text messages from. This is how you communicate with people, and you don't put it down and pay attention to them and give them your focused attention. You're not going to create that authentic communication. You're not showing that you're actively listening to them. Matter of fact, you're showing you just don't give a damn. You do not care what they're saying, because what you have right here is more important than them in front of you. So put the damn phone down. Close the laptop. Turn off all communication and give them your focused, undivided attention. And truly listen to what they're saying. Listen to understand. Hear them out for once. And as you're communicating with them and getting to know them and connecting with them, ask more questions than telling them what they need to do. Ask great open-ended questions. Get their insight. Get their feedback. Always ask them for their feedback. See, when you ask them great open-ended question and ask for their feedback, you're going to create an environment of mutual respect. They're going to think you care. And if you take some action on some of their ideas and really listen to what they have to say and try something new for a change, you're going to get tons of buy-in. You're going to see improvement in your engagement. You're going to see your innovation skyrocket because they see that you actually think their ideas are good ideas and are willing to try. Imagine that. I know some of you old school leaders out there, yeah, I'm talking to you Gen Xers or baby boomers out there if you're listening in, or maybe you've been that leader. Not be so vulnerable, not be so real. And I know people will make it sound like it's a weakness that you can't open up to people. And I get it. Sometimes you got to be cautious. And there's a thing called trust that takes a two-way street. Okay, I get that. But while vulnerability may seem like a weakness, it's a very powerful tool for you to build trust. Sometimes as a leader, you're not going to have the answers. You're not going to have a clue. You're not going to have an idea. And it might be okay just to be vulnerable enough to say, I don't know right now. I don't know, but I believe we can find the answer. And we're searching for the answer. The best idea I have right now is to go down this path. And we're going to go down this path until we feel like it's time to pivot. And then when it's time to pivot, we're going to look and pivot in whatever direction we see the market going in, whatever solution we might find along the way. But I really don't have the answer right now. But I know we can't keep doing what we're doing because we're not getting any different results. We can't keep doing the status quo. So if you can be that real and that vulnerable, you actually sound human. You actually admitted you don't know and don't have the answers. But you got to listen to your people, and you got to be willing to try their ideas. If your ideas are the only good ideas, you are screwed. So we looked at how we can build empathy through authentic communication. And now we're going to look at empathy being a key to emotional intelligence. You see, empathy is a pillar of emotional intelligence. It's a pillar for you being self-aware. It's also a pillar for you to be socially aware. You see, emotional intelligence is defined as being able to understand and manage your own emotions and others. And empathy can do both. Empathy can make you self-aware, and it can help you understand those around you. You see, Harvard Business Review reports that 90% of top performers have high emotional intelligence, while only 20% of low performers do. And those leaders who excel the best really and truly have a high EQ. You can be the smartest person in the room, but if you have low emotional intelligence, you're not going to get far, and there's very few people going to want to work with you because you're going to be a pain in the ass to deal with. Now, for you to be good at this, you got to have a heightened sense of awareness, and you got to pay attention to people around you. You got to recognize those emotional cues in others. If you know your people well enough, doesn't matter whether you're running a nonprofit or you're trying to get in that corner office in the corporate world. You got to know the people around you and be able to read their body language, know the things that are happening in their life. You got to really connect with them. If you don't, you're not going to be able to understand who they are. And if you are around them enough and really try to connect with them enough, they're going to give you those cues. You're going to be able to see in their body language, in their facial features, in the tone of their voice, where they're at emotionally. And if you're self-aware, you're going to know how to be empathetic and adjust your tone, your body language in a way that connects and communicates with them. And it's great that we understand their emotions, but it's not all about that. It's also about us practicing radical candor at times. You see, with empathy, you can be brutally honest if you do it in the right way. And you can relate to that person where they're at in that situation, and at the same time you can be brutally honest about the results that are going to happen to them. And you can sit there and you can understand, work with them, be empathetic with them, try to help them. But you can also be brutally honest about if these things don't change that need to change, then there's certain repercussions. I know it sounds controversial to use radical candor, but if you want to really build that trust and you want to be that authentic leader who communicates authentically, honestly, when you put yourself in their shoes and you've been honest with them, it's going to create that connection and build that trust. So now we're going to dive into some non-traditional empathy methods. And as we think about this, I want us to challenge your thinking a little bit with this question. What if empathy wasn't always soft and nurturing? What if empathy meant pushing people towards growth, pushing them to do the hard things, pushing them towards uncomfortable areas that help them grow? This could happen in the form of tough love. You ever thought about tough love being a way to practice empathy? If you're a parent out there, you ever thought about the tough love you showed your child was a way of showing them empathy? How many of you parents have challenged your kids to push through and do something hard because you were there at one time and you realized you had to push through something difficult as well, and how it developed you and helped you? I remember as a child, I wanted to quit playing baseball. I was probably about 11 years old at the time. I'd been playing baseball since I was 9. It was my favorite sport. And I can't remember why I wanted to quit, but I knew I wanted to quit. But my parents wouldn't let me. They made me go to practice. And I was playing. I had playing time. I wasn't sitting on the bench, but they made me do it. They made me push through. And I'm glad they did, because that became the sport I loved. And I did it all the way through high school. I learned a valuable lesson that sometimes even things we enjoy and love can get hard and difficult, and we need to push through, and we need to just keep going. And so if there's someone out there that you're leading right now and they need a little bit of tough love, think about where you were at in your career at that moment. Was there someone that came along to help you push through, that showed you that tough love to help you grow and develop? Another non-traditional method is empathetic detachment. It's you stepping back and giving people space. How many of you out there in a relationship with a significant other has had to do that? How many of you had to put yourself in that person's shoes in that moment and realize they need their space and they don't need you in their space and they need to work through this on their own? You might be working with someone on your team, or maybe you have a volunteer that you count on in your nonprofit right now, and you need to practice some empathetic detachment. You need to give them their space. Maybe they need to go explore something new and different. Maybe you need to let them try something new. Maybe they just need to fall flat on their face right now. It's not going to be detrimental to them. It's not going to be detrimental to you and your organization, your business, your nonprofit. You can let them fall. You can give them the space to do that. It might be time for you to do that today. So empathy isn't just a soft skill. It's actually a mindset that builds connection and trust and helps you make that long-lasting impact. Doesn't matter if you're that millennial leader trying to climb the corporate ladder, or maybe you're tired of the 9-to-5 grind and you have this entrepreneurial dream you're ready to kickstart. Or it could be you have this unwavering passion and desire down in your heart that you want to launch your nonprofit dream to bring about social change in your community or in the world somewhere. Whatever it might be, remember, true leadership begins with understanding other people. In a world where leaders are often disconnected from their teams, empathy is your bridge to building genuine connections that will make your legacy stand the test of time. If you want to do a deep dive in how empathy can transform your leadership, schedule a discovery call in the link below, and we will identify the next steps you need to take to build your lasting legacy. Thank you for joining me for this episode of Legacy Leaders Lounge. Don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel for more leadership insights on building a lasting legacy. Before you leave, do me a favor and share your comments below on what controversial empathy method resonated with you. Thank you for joining me today.